Hello, my name is Emikara, and I'm going to be talking about Pandeiro Level 1 today. Now, Pandeiro, it is a Brazilian instrument that is very similar to what we see in the United States as a tambourine. It is played quite different though, and there are many different types of pandeiros out there depending on the style of music that you're playing and your level of playing as well. So you see a lot of these out there. Contemporânea is a great brand. These ones have a plastic head on them. It is a wood rim or a composite rim, and it has machine-turned platinellas, these little jingles over here they call platinella. And these are really good for pagode and samba type situations. They are a little bit heavier, so when you're getting started, it might not be the best drum to start on. For most of the stuff that I'm doing with bands that I work with, I use this pandeiro right here. It is a wooden pandeiro with a natural skin head on it. It's got hand-hammered platinellas up here, which are sounding really awesome, and it's really nice and light. You hear these kind of pandeiros more in choro or capoeira or other smaller ensemble band type situations. Now, step one is how to hold the drum. If you look around, you see that it's got 5 different platinellas, sets of platinellas here, and you want to hold it, of course, in the place where there are no platinellas. So hold the drum flat, and you're going to make a little hook with your hand, just like this, where this part of your palm is flat, and your fingers are hooked up like this, and the drum is just going to sit in there just like that. And you're kind of holding it in between the fleshy part of your palm and your fingers, and it should be nice and secure. Then you're just going to take your thumb and secure the rim. You don't want your thumb to come in because you're going to dampen the sound of the head. So you just kind of use the side of your thumb right about here, and you're securing the edge of the drum. Now your playing position, you want your carrying arm to be in pretty much a 90-degree angle, and you want your wrist to be straight. You don't want it to be too far that way or bent up this way. Just nice and flat, and the drum directly in front of you, flat as well. You don't want it turned towards you. You don't want it turned away from you. Just nice and flat, neutral position. Now, once you get comfortable with that, you're going to take your playing hand and you're going to place it on the side of the drum opposite of your thumb. And that's going to be kind of your starting position, one side over here, one side over here. Now, the first step to playing is the heel toe. Now, heel toe is a combination of a rocking of the drum as well as a rocking of the hand. So we're going to start with the heel of our palm is here, and then our toes are our fingertips. We're going to start with that here on the back side of the drum, making contact, and then we bring the far side towards us and bring our fingers down to meet it. Now you want to keep at least your 3 middle fingers together as one unit because they're imitating the weight and the size of the palm of your hand down here. Your pinky doesn't need to be involved necessarily, but if it's comfortable for you to use it, good on you. So we start down here, and then we just rock the drum and back and forth like that. This may seem really rudimentary, but trust me, it is very worth it to get very comfortable with this rocking back and forth and making sure you're equally using your carrying hand, turning the drum as you are in your playing hand, attacking the drum. If you find yourself just doing this, start over, go nice and slow, get this coordination between your hands, very comfortable. Now, a few notes on this is that you do want to maintain contact with the drum pretty much at all times. We're not bouncing back and forth like this. We're maintaining contact always. You don't want to be too heavy because it's going to be straining on your arm, but nice and easy like that. Doesn't need to be exceptionally loud. We're creating a check pattern of 16th notes, just like that. So let's try putting it in time. We're going to play 16th notes. Taka, 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 starting on the heel and 3, 4, 1, 2. Now, as you're checking this out, check your posture. Are you finding yourself coming up like this? No, stay down here. Check your hand position. You're not coming down too far, staying nice and even. And then making sure you're still tilting the drum. And last time, 1, 2, ready, and stop. Great, so after you get comfortable with this idea of heel toe and really take as much time as you need to make that feel nice and solid, that it's not awkward using this rotation of your left hand or your non-dominant hand, the next step is to add our tones. And tones can either happen on the heel side or the toe side, and it's either made with your thumb or with a flick of your fingertips. Now the thumb tone, we're gonna, from this position, you're gonna bring your hand up and flick your thumb down, and you wanna be striking about an inch, inch and a half in from the edge of the drum. You don't wanna play in the middle, you don't wanna play all the way at the side. Just a nice strong hit. And you do need to get a little bit of strength behind it. If it's too light, you're not gonna really activate the whole drum. So a nice strong flick of the wrist like that. Just like that. Now, if you're putting that in the context of the heel toe, that would come in the place anytime where you have a heel, you can also do a thumb tone. So let's do a 16th note grid again, but we're gonna put the thumb tone just on every beat. Just doom ga da ga doom ga da ga tone. And take it as slow as you need to. Ready and stop. Just like that. So then the other place you can do a tone is on the finger side, and instead of doing a thumb flick, you're gonna have this technique where you're gonna bring your fingers back, you're gonna swing down, strike, and then bounce off, like you're skipping a rock or a bouncy ball. That's your trajectory. Reach back like a striking cobra, boom, and then continue your hand out flat that way. And you should be able to get the same quality of tone, same volume as the thumb tone. This one tends to be a little bit trickier, and pro tip, ladies especially, you need to have short nails in order to make that work, otherwise you're gonna hit with your nails first. Sorry, facts of life, Pandeiro players need short nails. So now let's set this up where we're gonna play 16th notes again, and we're gonna play the finger tone on the which is 1 E and 2 E and put in that nice finger tone. Ready, and 1 E and 2 E and. Make sure you're rocking your carrying hand. Last time. Ready and stop. So now let's put both of those techniques together, where we're gonna have the thumb tone on the beat, and then we're gonna have the finger tone on the of every beat. So we start to get this samba feel of doom ta ta doom doom ta ta doom doom, imitating the surdo sound in samba. All right, let's give it a shot. Ready and 1 E and 2 E and. Make sure your left hand is rocking. Make sure the drum is flat, not tilted towards you. Ready and off. All right, so then the last thing we're going to look at for these tones is that you can manipulate the pitch of the tone as well as the different places you're going to place them in time. And there's two ways to manipulate the pitch. One is either using most likely your middle finger or your ring finger, if it reaches better, on the bottom side of the drum, and you're just going to press into the head like that, and you can hear the difference of when it's pressed and not. You kind of get that muted or higher note and then a lower one, again imitating the surdos. You can also manipulate the pitch by pressing your thumb on the top of the head. That's my preferred way of doing it because it's a little bit of a stretch for me to reach in, and it kind of strains a few of the muscles up here. For me personally, everyone's hands are different, so whatever works best for you. But for me, I prefer to use my thumb and press on the head on the top. Just like that. I do practice both techniques so that if my thumb is starting to get tired, I can take a little break and switch to the bottom. Then the finger gets tired, I can switch back to the top. It's always good to have multiple tools in your tool bag. All right, so let's take that same pattern we were just looking at of doom, doom, ch, ch, doom, doom, ch, ch, and we're gonna mute the drum or bend the pitch around beat 1 and beat 3, and then let beat 2 and beat 4 be lower and the open note. So for example, we are gonna go ready and high, high, low, low, high, high, low. Make sure you're rotating. Last time, ready and off. Just like that. And start off nice and slow and slowly build that into a more danceable tempo. All right, so the last technique we're gonna add is that of a slap. Now the slaps, just like the tones where we have a thumb side and we have a finger side, we've got a front side and a back side to the slaps as well. The more common one that you're gonna use is the slap that's coming this way to the toe side, the front side, and you're gonna have your hand up like you're waving to your friends in the audience and bring it down flat against the drum, just like that. And you don't necessarily need to stick your whole hand on it because when you're going really fast, that tends to slow you down a little bit. But just get nice full contact. If you don't use your heel, that's okay. So that is going to come on either the E's or the U's of the beat. 1 E and A, 2 E and A, because we have this rocking heel toe 16th note grid. Now if you're going to put it on the downbeat or the and, you're going to use a backside slap. And you're just going to use the center of your palm. You're not going to use your whole hand to get that slap. You bring the bottom of the drum up towards you and get a slap coming this way. So if that way or that way. And there's different contexts and different music for each of those, but it's just good to work those into your repertoire. So in the same way we just did all of the tones in the 16th note grid, let's do that with our slaps here. So we're gonna do a slap on the heel side on each beat and with 16th notes in between. Ready, and 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4. Make sure that heel toe is nice and solid, and off. Now the same thing, let's put the slap on the and, that's gonna be on the toe side. Ready, and 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. So now we're going to put together all these sounds and create a basic samba pattern. Let's begin by going high, slap, low, high, slap, low, boom, boom, and high, slap, low. And now let's add in our heel toes. High, slap, low, high. Now once you get comfortable with that, we're going to add in a finger toe. Low, high, slap, low, low, high, slap, low. Ready, and off. Now with that basic grid, throw in a couple variations and you can handle yourself on just about any samba gig. Now, of course, it needs to be slowly sped up until it gets more into somewhere around here. There are definitely songs that go a lot faster. But be patient, take your time. It's really important, especially when you're first getting started, to practice in short intervals. Say, start off 10 minutes a day, work your way up to 15, because you're stressing a lot of really small tendons and muscles in your hand, especially your carrying hand, and until you build up that endurance. It's really important that you don't take it too far too fast, or especially if you're working with a heavier pandeiro, give yourself lots of breaks. That endurance will come, but you got to be patient because they're not muscles that are used to being worked in this way. So spend some time with that, practice to a metronome, and I'll see you in Pandeiro Level 2.